What's good, Eagles fans? Y'all are tuned into your dose of Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. As you guys already know, if you're new to the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll be so grateful for that. Also, if you guys have been loyal to the channel, loyal to the soil from the very beginning, you already know what my heart is and you know how we get down and Chalk It Up. In addition, make sure you guys go check out the Chalk It Up merch shop as well. I have so many items on there, neck gaiters, phone cases, hoodies, shirts, whatever you want, I got it. And whatever you need, I sure can provide it. But other than that, let's hop right into the content. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles have not been wasting time this offseason when it comes to getting below the cap limit, the cap hit for 2021. And I gotta be honest, they've been doing a pretty good job thus far. You know, we've moved on from players. We have impending releases coming for guys like Alshon Jeffrey and Malik Jackson. Like I said, we released guys like Deshaun Jackson as well. And then on top of that, we restructured guys like Darius Slay, Isaac Samalu, extended guys like Jason Kelsey, you know, things of that nature. But I want to get into the latest restructures, the latest contract news to come out as of late. Now, these things have happened throughout the past handful of days, but I want to just run down because at the end of the day, this helps us. And a lot of people were really down on us about our cap situation. A lot of fans were very nervous about how the hell we were going to get out of this situation. But even though Howie Roseman isn't the best when it comes to drafting, he is a cap space maneuvering guru. We got to give him that kind of respect. But let's just talk about Javon Hargrave restructuring his contract. The Eagles doing that with him ultimately saved about $9.4 million in the 2021 cap hit, and that's a big help. That takes off a huge chunk, and it gives us more flexibility. Maybe if we make a slight move in free agency in the future, once we get completely under the cap. But Hargrave, he has to have a breakout season this coming season. He has to. This past season was ultimately a disappointment for him because he was dealing with injury before the season started. And then it kind of lingered on and it kind of set him back in terms of getting used to the scheme because he's used to a 3-4 in Pittsburgh and he had to transition to a 4-3 coming to Philly. So that was an adjustment for him and the injury kind of set him back in that regard. But he's due to have a breakout season. He must have a breakout season. And honestly, the Eagles restructuring him just simply showed that they're ultimately committed to him for their future, for the next few years. And he is a future pillar on this defense in the trenches. Because, you know, guys like Fletcher Cox, they're getting up there. You know, they're eventually going to slow down. You know, guys like BG, they're going to slow down. Now, Hargrave is 30 years old, but nonetheless, he's younger than those guys. And I think he has a lot to offer on this defense. Now, moving on to the offensive side of the ball, we've recently restructured right guard Brandon Brooks. Now, I'm really excited about that restructure because I'm a big fan of Brandon Brooks. He's a fan favorite. And then on top of that, the dude has always just been reliable when he needed to be. He was pivotal during that Super Bowl season. He was an Iron Man that year. He didn't get hurt, but then he had to deal with 2 Achilles tears over the past 3 years since that Super Bowl. And, you know, since then, he hasn't really been the same guy. But when he's on the field, when he's healthy, he is completely on. He is completely on, and he's unshakable. He's unstoppable. But getting to his contract restructure, the Eagles managed to save between $7 to $7.5 million by restructuring Brooks' deal. And that's a big chunk that will definitely help us in the future and get us out of this hole that we're in. You know, like I said, Brandon Brooks, it's not going to be easy for him to bounce back from his second Achilles tear in the past 3 years. It won't. But if anybody can do it, it's him. The dude takes his body very seriously. He puts in all the work in the off season. He's one of those guys that takes martial arts in regards to his hand movements. So he's very into his craft. He's very committed to being better, committed to business, committed to being healthy and staying healthy. So I have no doubt that Brandon Brooks is going to really give us his top-notch performance. It's interesting because when you really think about the offensive line, we've managed to retain a bunch of guys from the previous season. Now, injuries set us back last year, and a lot of guys didn't really perform up to par. But when you really think about it, retaining guys like Lane Johnson, Isaac Samalu, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, those are key guys on the offensive line. Those are veterans on the offensive line. And we need to have guys like that, you know, to keep guys like Jordan Mailata, Andre Dillard, you know, Nate Herbig, Jack Driscoll honest. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much the offensive line is going to be the same from last year. The only thing that's really uncertain is that left tackle spot when it comes to Andre Dillard, what are we going to do with him? Are the Eagles going to trade him? Are they going to make him and Jordan Mailata compete? I really don't think the Eagles are going to trade Jordan Mailata at all. That would be an insane move, especially since he was one of the only consistent faces that we saw on offense when he had the opportunity. I pray to God we don't bring Jason Peters back. I really pray we don't do that. But moving on, having Brooks restructure his contract means that Lane Johnson doesn't necessarily have to restructure his. Not because he didn't want to, because he was on board with doing it. But by him doing that, by Brandon Brooks doing his restructure first, it just leaves more room for Lane Johnson's contract to exist as it already is. But the Eagles are still about $18 million over the cap, and they got a lot of work to do still. So we should expect a Derek Barnett restructure, or maybe an extension, or possibly a release. You never really know. I would expect a Zach Ertz trade as well. I doubt the Eagles are going to give up on him and lose him for nothing. But again, guys like Brandon Brooks, taking care of his restructure, and Javon Hargrave, maybe Brandon Graham may not have to. Maybe restructuring a guy like Darren Barnett, or extending a guy like Darren Barnett and releasing Zach Ertz would be just enough to shake up the cap space and put us where we need to be. But that's all I have for you guys today. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and y'all was tuning into your dose of Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. As you guys already know, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more, especially if you like what you hear and like what you see. I love giving you guys dope content, and I really appreciate the support. In addition, make sure you guys, if you've been loyal to the channel, if you've been loyal to the soil from the beginning, make sure you guys also share the content. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your fellow Eagles fans. I do this for real, and I really appreciate you guys. In addition, make sure you guys go check out that merch shop as well. I got plenty of things on there. Like I always tell you, the items are legit. Different colorways, different logos, whatever you got or whatever you want, I got it. And whatever you need, I can provide it. But I'm gonna leave it at that, you guys. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and y'all was tuned into your dose of Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just gotta charge it to the game. One love, and fly, Eagles fly.